all you cool hamster people, it's Munchie here. Welcome on back to another rescue intake here at Munchie's Place for Homeless Pets, where I run a small animal rescue with my volunteers. And today's introduction story is for a specific hamster we have named Latte. Now, I haven't seen a whole lot of Lattes out there, and she just happened to fit the bill, so we called her Latte. She's a female Syrian hamster, and this is her rescue intake story. She was found on Offerup. One of our volunteers went ahead and got her, kept her for a few days, and then brought her over here to Munchie's Place. And let's just talk about kind of what you somewhat see behind me, but let's just talk about the story first. Now, the reason why I make these videos is to encourage people to think adoption first and to realize there are people out there that make mistakes. They realize that they can't keep an animal, and they also don't keep it in adequate care. Unfortunately, a lot of pet stores kind of don't have the right stuff, and pet companies like to profit off of people, so they don't really change their ways. When updated information's out there, they don't want to change. But hopefully, if you do not purchase their stuff, they will decrease their sales, and something will finally click with them saying, oh hey, maybe we should stop rebranding the same thing we've been branding for 20 plus years now, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. All right, we need to go with better care, and there is good information out there online, but not everyone is open to seeking information first, and they just end up getting the pet impulsively. Today's video is probably an impulsive purchase, and this one is one we rescued online. This is not someone surrendering. We saw this Offerup ad, and we just had to pick up the little girl. It says hamster cage, and it shows just a cage, but there is photos of the hamster inside. She's massive. She's in the top portion of it, and this enclosure right here is made of cheap plastic. You wanna know why it's so cheap? It's because it's very easy to produce, and you can make a whole lot of this. But because it breaks so easily, it's not a good investment, and it also ends up in landfills. We have way too much plastic right now that it's just stuck in our landfills, and this is contributing. KT openly contributes to this. So by the way, KT, I know I'm shaming you. There's some things about you that I like, but a lot of things I do not like, and this is one of them. Critter trails need to die. They literally need to stop. I don't want any more representatives trying to contact me saying, hey, we just came out with some new stuff. Could you review it, please? No, I'm not going to until you change, all right? This is a brand new cage, and guess what I did? I tried to put this on because it accidentally popped off, and I cracked it. So I'm gonna show you right here. I literally cracked it just by applying pressure. That's how easy this broke. And this is a brand new enclosure too. It's nice and shiny. It doesn't feel grimy at all. It looks super clean. I forgot if I reviewed this specific one, but this is the 1 level habitat for KT critter trails. Did I seriously not take a picture of what it's, I just took a picture of the pictures. When I go to present stuff, I'm so smart. I just totally forget what it says in the ad itself, but thankfully we have intake notes, and that is something that I did take for you guys, so we'll look into that right now. Oof, this is starting off to be a very, very rough video. So they took out the wheel, had too much food inside of the cage, had chew toys, not sure what wood bedding was used, at least 3 inches of it, which now I know what it is because I have it right over there, so we will be looking at the stuff she came with. Reason for rehome, no time for her. She was 134 grams upon intake, which is a very healthy weight for a Syrian hamster of her size, and age, suspected age. We think in person she looks 4 to 5 months old. Owner said she thinks she's a month old, assuming she got her from pet store a month ago. So when people say, oh yeah, she's probably around a month old, they think that their hamsters at the pet stores are just born there. So we, just from her body, weight and size, probably nearing 5 months by now. She probably only had her for maybe a couple weeks to a month. This honestly, just from looking at it, looks like it has not really been used. Please guys, again, impulsive purchase. Don't just impulsively say, hey, I see something very cute in the store, so that means I have to go buy everything right now so I can get it. Pet stores, they like to have display tanks where they have like 1 inch of bedding and almost nothing, just so that you can start to see the animal and then want the animal and then have to go and purchase everything for the animal at that time. That's how they get you. That's how they get a lot of kids, and PetSmart's been doing this thing with the Tiny Tails lines where they are making kid accessories for hamsters so that kids are enticed to get these things, but not understand that the animal does not reflect that behavior of which they fantasize about. Ooh, there is a dinosaur enclosure? That means my hamster loves to explore and loves dinos just like I do. Oh wait, my hamster doesn't like me. Huh, I wonder why. It's just like, it's a very bad approach where it entices someone to want something that they don't want. Oh, I just wanted the pink castle because it looked cool, but I don't actually like my animal inside of it. That is a very dangerous tactic, and I hate how the US does that. I hate the marketing tactics of these companies. They do not care about the animal. And there's been so many escape stories from the Tiny Tales PetSmart dinosaur, by the way, that I mentioned, that I am so shocked that parents try to defend their own purchases by saying, well, you know, my child loves this. The cage is not for your child. The cage is for your hamster. The hamster is supposed to be for your child, and your child's supposed to love your animal, while you, the parent, take full responsibility of that life, all right? You're taking the responsibility of your child's life and the way they handle the animal, and also the animal. KT and Tiny Tales really loves to target children, and that's not right. It's great that there's different types of things out there that you can use for your hamster that's safer than just a really disgusting plastic cage that, again, fills up our landfills. You can't have colorful stuff. You can't have animals for kids, but you gotta do it right. Be sensical. So the top comes off very easily, and it's not really latched. I'm just gonna dig around in here. It's okay, I usually wash my hands anyways. This looks like it has almost no, yeah, there's no urine up here. There's only like a little bit of poop, and that's about it. So this was not used for very long, and or they cleaned it out very quickly, but again, this is brand new, and I cracked it, so. I like using these as travel carriers because these are really great for long periods of time, but not for Syrian hamsters. So you take the tube out and you just block it with a blocker, a stopper. This has some sort of treat as well as just a seed mix right here. You see a lot of full-on corn, which is a filler, and it's not crushed or minced or flaked. And then there's also millet seeds in here and just sunflower seeds. And obviously there's just a whole lot in here, so they weren't really eating it all. There's not a whole lot of variety either. You want to make sure that they have a variety diet. Feeding them the same stuff is just going to make them very unhealthy. That's why you don't eat cheeseburgers every day, is because you need other stuff in your diet too, and that cheeseburger is not going to fulfill that need for you. And then of course the wheel that is way too small, which I will just show you. You can kind of see it in there. Hamster Syrians need 10 to 12 inches of wheel length. So this is probably the 5-inch wheel, 5.5-inch wheel. Not appropriate. When they curve their backs, it causes pain and arthritis. So please do not allow someone to purchase this enclosure or wheel set at all. They usually come very cheaply made, and it causes a lot of friction. So when they run on it, the sound is just terrible. You can kind of hear it. And after a while, because of the material it's made with, it will cause a lot of friction and noise. This thing is way too small. It's under, it should be around 110. It's like the same size as a 10-gallon tank, or a little bit under that, but yeah, 120 square inches of floor space, where hamsters need 450 or above in the United States. Places like UK and Germany have much higher, but they're not much different from us due to what is available on the market. But Germany is definitely the lead in appropriate care. They have a lot of good cages out there and a lot of good care out there, and they also have higher laws, pet laws and standards. So that is that. And let's check out the items it came with. Pine. Pine is not good. So over the years, I have gone back and forth because of what I was told is safe because it's kiln dried. No. If there's aspen out there in the market that is a safe wood to be using, use that. Pine is not needed. Even if this is kiln dried, don't do it. There are people that speculate that pine still has toxins in the wood. All you do is just dry the damn wood by kiln drying it, and it doesn't actually remove it. While some argue that it does, I'm just playing it safe by saying just use aspen. There's some really good aspen shavings out there. It's safe wood. Don't also use cedar, because cedar is also toxic. So pine, cedar, big nose. Basic food. Hamster and gerbil, crafted and nutritious feed for the hamsters. So this is why it's just so basic, because this is the most basic of basics out there. This is basically bird seed, but for your hamsters. All it is 12% crude protein, which is a very, very low protein. They need 18 to 20 for adult Syrians, and then crude fat 4%, which is I think on the lower side, and then 9% fiber, which, you know, that's decent. That's a decent amount. But yeah, crude protein is just not there because there's really not any sort of variety for them. They had one chew toy. So I noted they had chew toy, but they only had one chew toy, and this was inside of there. This gigantic thing that they got at PetSmart. And it doesn't even look like it's been hardly chewed on. And then they had purchased, which was not needed, a food bowl. Personal care can scatter feed. At the rescue, we use bowls so we can monitor to make sure the animal's actually eating the correct amount and what they're leaving behind. And then we calculate based on that because we weigh all of our animals. And then, last but not least, they got a ton of bird/squirrel seed at their general store. This is not a need for a hamster. This is not something that's going to be beneficial to their dietary needs. You're going to be neglecting them in several places for their diet, so please do not do that. Look more into hamster keeping. It's just unfortunate that this person just kind of gave up. This feels like it gave up. It's just, I don't have time. I impulsively bought. I'm giving up. I want a little bit of my money back, but I also want them going to a good place. So that's the vibe we got. So unintentional neglect, but they should have done better, and hopefully in the future they will do better if they ever see this video and they're like, hey, I want to get back into this. I did it wrong. I saw Munchie's video. I'm gonna be better. Not a bad situation. She wasn't in any sort of like super duper danger. However, the tubes are way too small. They are not 3 inches. They are like less than that because there's even less space in these tubes here. And I believe when she was climbing down, one of the photos my volunteer sent me was her huge head being stuck inside the tube and just poking out. And that scared me. It is a dangerous enclosure when you have that big of a hamster. Thankfully, she did not get stuck, but she wasn't like super neglected is what I mean, where it's just like you see them skinny, you see them with limbs being, you know, broken, damaged, torn, etc. She was in stable body condition, is what I'm trying to say. So Latte, she's a sweet little girl. She's very poseable. Like you take photos of her and she just poses. She's so sweet. And she's so fluffy too. She's a long-haired Syrian hamster. And she's such a good girl. She's gonna be available for adoption here very soon. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, hit like to show support, comment down below with what you would like to say of this video. Leave anything you like that's related. And if you enjoy the content here, please subscribe and become part of our Munchkin family. I'll see you guys in the next video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!